What's up, guys? Jaden here. I have a really big update for you guys. Very positive update too. Um, Between this time and my last video, I saw a naturopathic doctor, another one. She was very thorough, and she brought to my attention something that I've never even thought about before, and something that makes a shit ton of sense to me. So she informed me that if you do have a gluten allergy or gluten sensitivity, that there are foods that have similar structure to the gluten, and your body confuses that and then gives it a similar reaction. So that hit home for me a lot. And she showed me that dairy, as well as rice and a few other things, have a similar structure. And as soon as she said that, I immediately cut them out. The dairy, the rice, cut it out. Almost immediately, I felt better. Like, I noticed a pretty drastic change in my throat clearing and my coughing, and just in general discomfort. And I pretty much stuck with that. And I can honestly say, like, I feel like I'm finally headed in the right direction, and I can finally project some consistency with that right direction. I do not think my reflux was mainly from a structural issue like a weak LES or even a hiatal hernia. I think that played a part in it, but I do believe that it's mainly allergy related. And I did look it up on Google, as well as reading a lot of Reddit posts about it. I haven't explored the allergy side too much of this issue, but because of my swallowing issues, I've been thinking more and more about that, especially because I had the 100 eosinophils. And a lot of people with reflux that continues to happen despite the acid, dropping the acid foods and things that weaken the LES. A lot of people still continue to have symptoms, and I think this is why. There's also a lot of correspondence between those two issues with reflux and allergies. So for me, I've been feeling a lot better, and I've been drinking for like the last few nights, and it hasn't really made a difference. I'm doing things that, if my cause was purely reflux related, I should be having very bad reflux, but I am not. I'm eating bacon. I ate all kinds of fatty brisket. Obviously drinking tequila, whatever else. But one thing I haven't done is eaten gluten. I've stayed away from the gluten cross-reactive foods, and it's making a huge difference. I would strongly recommend you guys, if you have not done it, get tested for that. I'm so happy my fiance scheduled yet another visit for me, because I was kind of done seeing new doctors, honestly, because I've seen so many doctors, and it's so frustrating when they just give you that same look like, well, I mean, you have history of reflux, it's probably still reflux. Like, dude, no, it's not. It's not just purely reflux. There has to be something driving these crazy ass symptoms. So, yeah, I'm extremely happy. Obviously, there's still a lot of work that I got to do. I got to get my weight back up. You know, things like that. I got to get my weight back up. Still have a lot of healing to do, probably, because this is a new finding for me. And if I've been eating foods that still cause a immune response, then obviously my body's still inflamed. But I'm just happy to have found a cause for all of this, and something that I can do to immediately stop my symptoms, or at least like within like a day or two. It's not going to be like the same day, I don't think. Then again, I really didn't track how long it took, but it wasn't very long. Like, because rice is something that I ate almost every day. So same thing with dairy. I ate a lot of dairy too. If you recall from one of my older videos about a year and a half ago, I did give up gluten, and I did feel better. This is even prior to my surgery, but I just chalked it up to, oh, maybe it's because I was being consistent about the low reflux or the low acid diet. But no, I do think gluten is a huge issue. And like I said, I do have a gluten allergy as well as an intolerance. Strongly recommend you guys get tested for that. Strongly recommend, especially because so many people on Reddit are saying that that was their issue. And these are the most hard cases to figure out, because none of your doctors are going to point this to gluten or whatever food intolerance or allergy that you may have, because the allergists are not focusing on the reflux side of things. They're only looking for allergy, like typical allergy response to things like a stuffy nose, anaphylaxis, hives, that kind of thing. They're not looking at it from like like mucus, like phlegm consistently. Like, that doesn't make sense. But the naturopathic doctor did, she kind of put it together, and I don't even think she really even deals with that many people like myself, but I do think that they deal with a lot more chronic things than regular doctors do. As well, and they are very knowledgeable about a lot of foods and things and how they react to the body. So in a nutshell, I think this is what happened to myself and what is happening to certain people with reflux symptoms that do not respond how your typical case of LPR GERD responds to like PPIs and things like that. So this is what I am almost 100% certain happened to myself, and what may very well have been your guys' issues or be your guys' issues. So I took Accutane when I was 20 years old. I think that did a number on my gut, as it usually does to people. I did take a few other antibiotics during that whole thing. One of the times I got like a UTI or something like that, kind of in the same time. Took another antibiotic for that. Of course, the doctors aren't going to double check to make sure you didn't, your certain medications aren't going to interact with each other or whatever. They're known for prescribing shit and then sending you on your way. So me being in my early 20s, not giving a fuck, just couldn't wait to down my protein shake and hit my workout. Didn't really care. Just popped the pill, or in my case, crushed it, because I can't swallow pills. Never could. And yeah, I think antibiotics wiped my gut out. I think I developed allergies because of a weak microbiome. And I think it never cured or never healed. I think that I definitely drank a lot when I was in my mid to low 20s. I think I further damaged my gut. I think I had a allergy this whole time that just got worse as I kept exposing my body more and more often to said allergies. And yeah, I think that's pretty much where I was at. So like I said, I'm really relieved that I'm feeling a good amount better, and I can finally point to something and be like, yeah, that's for sure makes sense. That's for sure why these certain foods in my food journal that seemingly have nothing to do with each other, like how the fuck does dairy have anything to do with rice, and how does rice have anything to do with gluten? But why am I reacting to these foods? Well, finally I can figure that out. They have a similar protein structure than to my main allergy, which is gluten. So if you guys haven't got allergy tested, you never took a food intolerance panel, strongly recommend it. I strongly recommend it, you guys. Like I said, I got a whole bunch more work to do, so I'm not going to disappear after this video. My plan is to continue this diet. I'm on basically an autoimmune paleo diet, so I'm not eating any foods that are cross-reactive with the gluten, not eating any gluten. And basically, yeah, I'm just eating fruits, vegetables, and meat is what I'm doing. And then any type of, like right now I'm drinking coconut milk, so no dairy or anything like that. And that's my plan. My plan is to continue with that, gain my weight. I am going to stop the drinking, because I did celebrate a little bit, I'm not going to lie, because finally I was like, wow, like I feel like for the first time in a while, I feel a lot of hope and something really, really positive to share with you guys. And that's why I kind of waited to update, because the doctor appointment was like over a week ago, but I wanted to test it to make sure that it worked, and it sure as hell did, and I'm really happy about that. So hope you guys are doing good. As usual, any questions you have, any comments, hell, post your guys' story in the chat. I want to start hearing more of your guys' stories. I know a lot of you guys reached out to me, but I think it would do really good to share your stories in the chat so other people can see them too. So, all right, guys, keep hanging in there. Stay strong. See you next time.